All right, let's jump right into what might be one of the most powerful combinations in learning and leadership. Today we're talking about how two ideas that seem like opposites, really high expectations and really deep support, actually come together to create some pretty incredible results.
So, think back to when you were in school for a second. Who did you learn more from? That super tough, no-nonsense teacher, or the one who was just incredibly kind and supportive? It's a classic debate, right? And you probably have a gut feeling one way or the other. But what does the evidence actually tell us?
Well, it turns out the answer isn't either or, not at all. The most effective educators, the best leaders, even parents, they're the ones who figured out how to be both. How to be tough and kind, demanding and supportive, all at the same time. Let's break down how that actually works.
So what is this winning formula? It's a pretty simple principle, but it's one that research backs up again and again and again.
Here it is. High expectations plus high support. At its heart, it's this core belief that people can achieve amazing things, but, and this is a big but, they can't do it all on their own. So you set the bar high for their work and for their behavior, but you also provide the ladder to help them reach it. See, one without the other, it just falls flat. The educator Lisa Delpit gave this style a fantastic name, warm demanders. I just love that phrase. It perfectly captures the balance, doesn't it? They convince students of their own brilliance, all while keeping a structured, disciplined classroom. It's not just about being nice. It's about believing in someone so deeply that you demand their very best.
And this isn't just some feel-good theory. There's some fascinating science that shows how a teacher's belief can literally change a student's brain.
So let's look at the classic Pygmalion effect study. This is wild. Researchers went into a school and randomly picked out a bunch of students. Then they went to the teachers and told them, totally falsely, that these specific kids were about to have a major academic growth spurt. The teachers, now believing these kids were geniuses in the making, subconsciously started treating them differently. They'd give them more challenging work, a little more encouragement, maybe an extra second to answer a tough question. And the result? By the end of the year, those randomly chosen students actually showed significantly bigger gains in their IQ scores. The teacher's belief literally became a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's just a powerful reminder. People tend to rise or fall to the level of expectation we set for them.
Okay, to really see why this combination is so powerful, it helps to map it out against some of the other common ways people teach or lead.
This little grid breaks it down perfectly. So, on one axis you have expectations, high to low, and on the other you have support, high to low. Down in the bottom left, low on both, you've got the neglectful style, totally checked out. Over in the top left, high expectations but low support, that's authoritarian. Think my way or the highway. Then, bottom right, you have the permissive style. Tons of support, super kind, but really low expectations. But that top right corner, that's the sweet spot, authoritative. High expectations and high support. Firm, fair, and incredibly effective. That's our warm demander.
And let's just zoom in on those top two for a second. The authoritarian style, sure, it might get kids to be quiet in the short term, but it often does it at the cost of trust and any real motivation. The authoritative style, our warm demander, actually boosts performance because it's all built on a foundation of trust and respect. Students work hard because they know you believe in them and you've got their back.
Okay, so we know the what, and we know the why. Now, for the really good stuff, the how. How do you actually do this? Let's walk through the playbook. First things first, it all starts in your head. It's a mindset. You have to genuinely believe that every single student is capable of growth, no matter their background or what they've done in the past. And then, you have to say it, out loud, often. A simple phrase like, "I'm pushing you on this because I know you can do it," can literally change a student's entire outlook. Next up, you have to be crystal clear about what excellence actually looks like. This goes for everything: homework, projects, how people treat each other. When everyone knows exactly what the standard is, and they see it applied fairly to everyone, excellence just becomes the new normal. It's the culture. Now this part, this is absolutely crucial. You can't just set a high bar and then walk away. You have to provide the ladder. We call this scaffolding. It means breaking down big, scary tasks into smaller steps. It means giving students outlines, sentence starters, extra help when they need it. The support is what keeps high expectations from just becoming frustrating.
This is all about your tone, your demeanor. Yeah, you hold people accountable, but you do it with encouragement and respect. So if a student is messing up,
Your response is firm, but it's also supportive. It's, hey, I know you can do better than this. What's going on, and how can I help you get back on track? You enforce the standards because you care, not because you're on a power trip.
Okay, this next one is a very specific research-backed tool. It's called wise feedback, and honestly, it's a game changer. It's a simple way to give criticism that actually motivates people instead of making them shut down. This phrase right here, it's like a magic key. Studies have found that when students get this message, along with a bunch of critical feedback on their essays, they are way more likely to revise their work and improve. Why? Because it completely reframes the criticism. It says, this isn't good enough yet, and I'm telling you that because I have total faith that you can make it great. It turns criticism into a vote of confidence.
A warm demander classroom is basically a growth mindset factory. Mistakes aren't seen as failures, they're just data. Challenges aren't things to be afraid of, they're opportunities. When you normalize struggle and really celebrate progress, not just perfection, you teach resilience. You keep that motivation burning bright.
And finally, none of this works if you're not consistent. Students have to know that the high expectations are for real every single day and that your offer of support is genuine. You build trust and credibility by following through every single time, for every single student. So when you actually manage to put all of these pieces together, something amazing starts to happen. You don't just get a classroom that runs smoothly, you create this self-reinforcing engine for success.
And this is the beautiful outcome, a virtuous cycle. It starts with your high expectations and support, which lead to student success. That success then builds their confidence and their trust in you. That confidence and trust makes them willing to put in even more effort, which of course leads to even more success. The whole thing just builds and builds on itself.
So as we wrap this up, I'll just leave you with this one last thought. We talk so much about setting high standards for work and behavior, but what if the single most powerful, the single highest expectation we can possibly set for someone, for our students, our teams, our own kids, is simply our unwavering belief that they have what it takes to reach them?